Hello and welcome to the Daily Meal for Sunday, the 4th of December 2022. Before we get into the meat and gravy of today's video, which is more post-match comments from Gary Rowett and the stats from the game, so we're trying to find out what went with the medium of stats, but some housekeeping. Millwall under 21s versus Ipswich Town tomorrow. The venue has been changed late in the day. It was due to take place at the Den, and they have moved it. I'm guessing because obviously England played today. They won 3-0 against Senegal, and they showed that in the exec lounge at the Den tonight. So it's a bit of a short turnaround to clean it all up and get it spick and span ahead of Monday lunchtime. So they moved the game to the train. Which is kind of weird because they're still selling tickets for the game because they were selling tickets online on the Millwall Tickets website. So, Millwall under 21s welcome Ipswich Town to Calmont Road in the Professional Development League on Tuesday afternoon with midday kickoff. The Young Lions return to action after nearly a month break and will be searching for another 3 points to continue their bid in the finish in the top of the league table. Let's hope they have a better return than the first team. Braces from Abdul Malik and Nana Boateng eased Millwall to 4 and win at Den last out, making them back-to-back wins with one loss in their last 5. Ipswich, on the other hand, will be looking to get back to winning ways after they lost 7-2 at home to Reading back in early November. Kevin Nugent's side are unbeaten at home this campaign, whilst only failing to score 4 or more goals on one occasion, a record that has also seen them not concede more than a single goal in any fixture on their own patch. Abdul Malik has scored 3 goals in his last 2 games and will be hoping to add to his 13 strikes so far this season. The form of the striker has been one of many reasons as to why Millwall have scored 38 goals, the league's most. The Lions sit in second place, 7 points above Cardiff in third and just 4 points off the top of the game in hand. Nugent's side could go within a point of league leaders Bristol City with a win, who do not feature in this game week. Ipswich, prior to their 7-2 thumping by Reading, had been unbeaten in 4 games, winning 3, their longest unbeaten run thus so far. The Tractor Boys are placed in 7th with danger men Matthew Ward and Gerard Boabo looking to assist them in climbing the table. Updates from Calmont Road will be available on Millwall FC, the Lions' official Twitter account, whilst the report and reaction will be published on millwallfc.co.uk after the final whistle. So if you were planning to go to the Den tomorrow lunchtime, do not go to the Den tomorrow lunchtime. Game is not on. If you already bought your ticket in advance, I don't know how you get your money back or what. I guess you can, or you obviously will, but it might take a bit of time. Now into the actual main hub of today's video, which is more post-match comments from Gary Rowett. So what has he had to say for himself? What's going on here? So Millwall Post pinpoints exactly why set pieces failed to come off in 3-0 loss at Sunderland. This is from londonnewsonline.co.uk. Gary Rowett had a simple answer for why Millwall's set-piece prowess was blunted at Sunderland Stadium of Light yesterday. The Lions endured a miserable return to the Championship action as they lost 3-0 on Wearside. Millwall are normally a major handful in their situation, but were unable to get any joy as the defeats saw them slip out of the top 6. Danny Bath headed every single one out of the box, said Rowett when asked about the Lions failing to make the most of the set pieces. That's a simple fact. We've had 12 corners and Danny Bath has got his head on about 10 times. When somebody's so dominant in those moments, you have to ask the question why your players haven't managed to go and do that themselves. With these games, there's always little nuances of the game. You ask, have we done enough in those areas of the game to score? It's a strong part of our game. I don't think we attacked it with the same desire Danny Bath attacked it to defend. You've seen recently that teams have worked extra hard to stop us from set pieces. If they find those moments where they're dominant, then we have to accept it and be disappointed. We had enough chances in the first half to certainly go a goal up and change the game. I don't want to take any credit away from Sunderland because they were excellent after that first goal. 3-0 probably flatters them a little bit. The way the goals went in, it was incredibly disappointing. More from Gary Rowett from the Southwark.co.uk. Gary Rowett frustrated by missed chances in Sunderland defeat. The Lions are outside of the top six on goal difference after their heavy defeat on Weir side. Gary Rowett was left feeling frustrated by his side to miss chances in 3-0 away defeat at Sunderland. I'm disappointed in many ways, Rowett said after the match. If you looked at the game, I felt that the first 45 we were the better side. I thought we were very, very good. I think Sunderland have got the type of players that they can get in those types of pockets. Pritchard, Diallo, Clark tend to stay a little bit wider, but they cause us one or two problems for about 10-15 minute spell. They've got a few free kicks around the box and gained a little bit of momentum. But other than that, I felt the best chances by far fell to us in the first half. Tom Bradshaw heads it over the keeper, and if he just gets another yard in the corner, I don't think Danny Bath gets there. Zion had that chance just before half time where he reads the goalkeeper's intentions and hits it first, and it goes an inch wide. So again, you could go 1-0 up. I think George Honeyman had an excellent chance, a great block by one of their defenders. Coops had a sort of overhead kick. Keeper does well to save. If you look at the big moments as an away team, I was quite encouraged by the first half performance. What you can't do in this division, it's clear to see a lot of the games, is that you can't give away the first goal easily. If you're the away team, you can't allow the first team to get a bit of a gift and go 1-0 up. That was a disappointment. We had a chance to clear the first goal. They ended up getting a little bit of fortunate break where Pritchard ends in a position where they've got a 2v1 in the box, but we should deal with it better. The second goal, Pritchard just wriggles past two of our players on the edge of the box. Again, we have to work our feet quicker and get closer. I don't know whether Longley was onside. I think he would have been a bit disappointed that he hasn't saved it. The third goal basically can't be described in any other way than an absolute joke from our perspective. That was the frustration. I think the first goal gave a little bit of a lift. It gives the fans a little bit of a lift. I thought they went through it. Then for 15-20 minutes they caused us problems all over the pitch, and with a little bit of extra confidence they had with it. Really, really pleased with the first 45, but the first 45 is the halfway point of the game, and that's all it is. Very disappointed with the second. So there's Gary out there, yep. Yeah, we got punished because we were better in the first half and we didn't get the goal. Simon Fleming, I've said this before, when he's on it and he produces, we get decent results. When he doesn't, it's a bit shaky because there's no one else there. Who are you relying on? Cooper to get it? Bradshaw, I mean, is he it? I don't know. I don't think so. If you're looking like where can we improve, that's the place. We were looking at that Ellis Sims, the one they had playing. We were trying to get him in on loan. So we have to wait and see. We've signed one youngster, but I think he's for the under 21. So are we trying to sign a target man? Someone who can play up front. We've got a Phobie injured. When's he coming back? Is he coming back? Will we get someone in on loan to cover him? Don't know. Will we play Abdul Malik? Because Abdul Malik is very good with his feet. I don't know if you get him. I don't know if they try to train. If he's been training with the first team, get him training with Zion Fleming. Because I don't know if they could both work quite well together. It might work, but you never know. So one more comment from it might be two more. Samil Boss plays down impact of shortened World Cup break. Yes, so here's the thing. Obviously, we came back early, a lot earlier than everyone else. And if we would have won that game, it would have been an absolute stroke of genius. But we didn't, and we ended up losing heavily, and it messed up our goal difference. We slid place down in the table. The team that beat us 3-0 are now 1 point behind us. I mean, it's complete and utter disaster. Like, there's no other way to describe it. It just didn't work. It's a failure. Now we will now wait to see next week what the other teams do when they come back from their breaks. But maybe they'll have a shambles as well. So well, they can't all have shambles. Maybe there will be some decent results like Sunderland's was next week. So we have to wait and see. So what's Gary Rowett had to say about this? Gary Rowett said that the shortened World Cup break may have had an impact on his side's performance against Sunderland, but that isn't an excuse for the poor second half of the stadium play. The Lions started the game well, but collapsed after the restart, ultimately losing 3-0, thanks to goals from Ahmed Diallo, Alex Pritchard, and Ellis Sims. The opening stages of the match showed no signs of rustiness, but Rowett's side lost momentum and confidence in the second half. But the Millwall boss is determined to avoid using it as an excuse for not picking up a positive result on Weir's side. Clearly we played too soon, so I might put a formal complaint into the FA and say I want an extra week's break. He joked after the match. Yeah, hilarious, yeah. It's unusual for everybody. Everyone has to deal with it in their own way, how they see fit. You've just got to hope it doesn't affect your team when they come back. It's interesting, really, because a lot of the press is that you finished on a positive result, that's great going into a break. If you finish on a negative result, that's poor going into a break. Actually, I think it's the other way around. Yeah, because obviously we had that amazing result against Preston going into the break, so I don't know if the players were like sniffing their own farts, thinking they're really big bollocks, and they've had 3 weeks of thinking that, and then they come back and been utterly humiliated. Maybe that's what's gone on there. The poor result gives you a chance to rebuild and work on things. With a good result, you can only really lose momentum in some ways. But I don't think that necessarily happened. I think we worked well over the break. I think the first half performance wasn't a performance of a rusty team. I think we just conceded very poor goals. It was reminiscent of our early season away from where we're gifting goals to other teams, and they've gained the confidence from it. Sunderland have got some good players. I think they've struggled a little bit at home. But when you've got a little bit of momentum with some of the players they've got, the technical players behind six, who's a handful, they're going to cause team problems. Notice how he singles out Sims there. Because he actually wanted to sign it. So he's like, oh, you see that guy who did well? I wanted him in our team. We've got to deal with that better, and the only positive for us is that we've had a game out of the way, so hopefully by next week, when everyone else plays, there really aren't any excuses. Indeed, now we wait to see when Wigan come back, we play them, we've had an extra week. Is that going to be helpful to us, or are they going to be well up for it, or are they going to be slow to come back? We wait and see. But in terms of now, Tony Mowbray is a very good manager. He obviously saw some things in that game, and he changed. I don't know what he changed at half time. He's certainly had a word with the Sunderland players and sorted a few things out. And they come out, and like literally straight after the break, they end up scoring a couple of goals. As simple as. So obviously, Hutchinson was there. He was on the bench for the whole 90 minutes. He didn't go off the bench. So what's going on there? Millwall defender looks set to return to starting lineup against Wigan Athletic. This is from londonnewsonline.co.uk. Gary Rowett has admitted that Sean Hutchinson returns to starting lineup could be accelerated after Millwall's 3-0 defeat to Sunderland yesterday. The Lions club captain was an unused substitute. Stadium Light and returning from injury. Rowett was critical of his side's defending in the North East, feeling they made too easy for the home team as they scored 3 times after the interval. Next up for Millwall is a home game against Wigan next weekend. Asked about not involving Hutchinson, the Millwall boss said, I just felt as though Cressy and Coops had performed well against Preston. Hutch is our captain. It's not just a given that a player goes straight back into the team because of that. You've got to earn the right to get back into the team. We've changed the team a few times when Hutch has picked up another injury to take him out. It's been hard for us to get that continuity, those key players, but after a performance like that, there's every chance he might come back into the team at some point soon. With Bennett out injured at the moment, it leaves us one explosive talented player that you can bring off the bench. That makes a big difference in those type of games. And I've even got enough attacking depth on the bench with Bobby out. Defensively, we have to perform with a lot more solidity than that for a longer period. We did it in the first half. We didn't do it in the second half. Asked if any other players could be back for Wigan, Gary Rowett replied, Not sure. Probably it will be very similar. We are facing a team with a new manager, and we've done that 3 or 4 times already this season. It makes preparation a little bit more challenging, but it is a home game, so we focus on ourselves. The aim for us, is, of course, of any defeat is not to get too bothered by it. Make sure we bounce back very quickly. Well, one player there, if you can see on the right hand side, Tyler Burry. Obviously, he's talking about an impact sub, an attacking impact sub off the bench. Tyler Burry was there. Probably would have brought him on, and he probably could have done something. Obviously, we had Mason Bennett, but Tyler Burry is a very direct attacking player, and that's probably what we needed. But again, what can you say? So he left Cresswell in, which I assumed yesterday was you can't drop him because he did all right. But look what that led to. Maybe you just got to drop him, send him a message. I don't know. But anyway, let's crack on and have a little look through the stats now. We're going to move on to the stats. So if you're going to click off, thank you for watching. If you're still here. So this is from infogoal.net. They give the XG as 1.94 to Sunderland and 1.46 to Millwall. So that basically means Sunderland should have scored 2 goals. Obviously, you know that they got gifted a goal for an error from Cresswell. So that probably is a bit probably should have been 2-0, not 3-0. So it was a bit flattering. You can see the match events, 3 yellow cards in the first half of Millwall. So obviously something's going on there. But why no subs at half time? You're trying to win the game. You're not winning the game. You've got 3 players yellow carded. Why not make some changes at half time? Why not change the shape at half time? Why not bring on players at half time? You don't, and then 8 minutes later they've scored. So yeah, let's move on to the XG shot map. So there are Sunderland's chances. Now they had a chance there that was not scored. That was only 73 minutes. That was a 60% chance. The goals are actually this one, right in the 6-yard area. That one there, and that one there. They didn't have that many chances. We actually had a lot more chances than them. But if you notice, we didn't get in the 6-yard box. Our best chance was this one here, Simon Fleming, obviously. The one right in the end of the first half. If he would have scored that, it would have been a different kettle of fish, but he did not. Other notable chances, well, that was Jay Cooper. I think that was the kick. And that was Bradshaw. So, fairness rating, was that a fair result? 62.19. That was not a fair result. That was not a fair result. We did not deserve to get 3-0 on that. Does that mean that we probably should have scored? It should have been a draw? I don't know, because they don't really go into detail, but they're saying 3-0 to Sunderland was not how it should have played out based on the stats. So let's have a look. First off, look at that. So obviously, I think what old thingy said is stop shooting from outside the box, get inside the box. Because look, second half they've had 4 shots inside the box. First half they're not getting in there. So I think he said something about getting inside the box, which is kind of the same thing that happened against Norwich, the game that was on TV Friday night. Norwich were just shooting early and often from outside the box as many times, and then they were just shooting wide, shooting over. Wasn't happening. After half time, they came out. They stopped shooting. They were trying to get inside the box, like passing it forward, passing it around, trying to get inside the box, getting in and behind Mill's defenders. So I think that's what's the same thing that's happened there. So obviously, don't know who the Norwich manager is. Is it still Farke? Or they changed? No, they changed it to someone else today. But obviously, whoever they are, they figured out something that Millwall do in the first half of games, in away games, definitely. And then there's something that they tell them to change, and then they ended up scoring the goals in the second half. So that's kind of worrying that someone's figured something out about our system, and they've figured out how to beat it. So let's look at Millwall first off. Holy shit. Fucking hell, look at that. Look at that. So this is kind of worrying because this is similar to what the one for the 90 minutes. So if we go to second half, I'm guessing we're going to have like 4 shots in the second half. Yeah, look at that. Our chances were fucking barely there. Few and far between, and not very good. Whereas Sunderland will take your time, get into the box, get into the 6-yard box. And that's what's done us. Yeah. This is whoscored.com. If you look on the right hand side, you can see the top 5 players are all Sunderland players. Danny Bath, man of the match, 8.9. Yeah. The 3 goal scorers as well. And then and Patson. The player who had the most shots in that game was Jay Cooper. What super forward? Shall we play him up front? Should we just play him up front and get the keeper to hit balls up to him? He's apparently our star striker now, apparently. So, here we go. Millwall created a high number of chances relative to their possession, stole the ball from the opposition, were effective at creating goal scoring opportunities from the flanks, were effective at creating goal scoring opportunities from set pieces. But we were poor at finishing, were aggressive, gave away a lot of free kicks around the box, and committed a high number of individual errors. We had a large quantity of possession in our opponent's half. We attacked through the middle. We had a high shot frequency when in possession. We favoured crossing the ball. We favoured through balls. And here you go. These are the numbers. We had more shots than them. But they get 3 goals. We get absolutely nothing. We had 19 attempts on goal. They had 11. We 10 and 10 from open play. 1 set piece for them. 9 for us. And we did not score a goal. So that 11 shots, 3 goals. That is a 27% conversion rate. That is not good enough. Here you go. They were just going down the wings. They weren't going down the middle. Millwall were basically balanced. Left, middle, right, all over the place. Shot directions. Millwall mostly down the middle, them left and middle. Shot zones, as we've just seen. None in the 6-yard box for us. For them, 18% inside the 6-yard box. Including a couple of the goals, I believe. Action zones, there you go. Player positions. Okay. So what are they playing? They're playing 4-1-3-1. And we are just kind of, I don't know what the fuck we're playing there. 4-2, 4-2, 4-2-2-1-1. That's what we're playing there, is it? Why didn't we have any wide players of our own? Why is everything going through the middle? What can you do? What can you do? So let's have a look at some of the numbers from individual players and see who did what and where, because there's been a lot of finger pointing. A lot of people not happy with Long, Bradshaw, Fleming, Cresswell. Fingers pointing all round. So if we look at the club badges at the top left and right, the average player rating for Sunderland was 7.43, and the average player for rating for Millwall was 6.16. Absolutely outclassed. Absolutely outclassed. Our highest rated player was Mr. Danny McNamara at 6.9, just ahead of Zion Fleming with 6.8 and George Honeyman with 6.8 as well. But please remember, McNamara and Honeyman were taken off, so they didn't even play the full 90 minutes, which probably would have bumped their score up, and they could have got a higher score, but they did not. An error was credited to Cresswell, and Danny Bath had a clearance off the line, as did whoever that is, Neil, someone Neil. And there you go. And the three highest rated players are the three players who scored a goal. Because obviously, I'm assuming they didn't have that many shots, and they scored a goal. So let's crack into it. So total shots, so we've seen that is 11 to 19. Sims had 3, got 1 goal. Pritchard had 3, got 1 goal. Diallo got one goal. Cresswell 2, Cooper 4, Fleming 3, Honeyman 2, Mitchell 2. Mitchell 2, kind of weird. He doesn't usually shoot, but he had 2 himself. Yeah. So we've had 9 set pieces and that scored from Cooper 4, Cresswell 2, and Murray Wallace 2. The only players of the starting 11 who didn't have a shot for Millwall was Saville, Long, and McNamara. Possession-wise, 53 to 46. And again, for us, it's Billy Mitchell mostly on the ball with 6.1%. For them, it was the centre-backs of Bath and O'Neill. It's obviously not being pressed hard enough up front. Being allowed to gain possession of the ball. Pass success percentage, 80 to 73. Bradshaw with 80. Interesting, because he played 90 minutes, so I'm guessing he didn't have that many passes. 83 for Mitchell. 85 for Cresswell. 59 for George Long, which is quite high. Dribbles 10 to 5. Aerials 123 to 20. So pretty even, but they just edged it, as Gary Rowett said in his match comments. Danny Bath 10. Just mopping everything up. When you're playing long balls up front and there's a geezer there who's winning all of them and the players aren't, stop doing that. For Millwall, it's Cresswell with 5. And even up front, you've got Bradshaw with 3 and Fleming with 3. 1 and 2. Tackles 18 to 20. So yeah, there you go. Cresswell only 1 tackle. Corners 1 to 8. We had 8 corners. Did jack shit with all of them. Dispossessed 8 to 12. That's basically having the ball taken off of you. So there you go. Let's move on now to more of that. So Cresswell got a low. Cresswell did get a low score. George Long got a low score. Why was that? How many shots does Sunderland have on target? We've seen they've had 11 shots. How many were on target? Because we know they got 3 goals. If it's 3 shots on target, 3 goals, then what's going on there? So it's actually 5. So they have 5 shots on target, 3 goals. Could have been better, but that's kind of as expected. Now for Millwall, let's have a look. So ratings wise, we've seen Danny McNamara number 1, 6.91. George Honeyman 6.8. So George Honeyman got taken off at 65 minutes. Obviously he's got that yellow card. He's a liability. Probably could have got sent off. Ended up still being our second best player with 6.8, even though he's only on the pitch for 65 minutes. Yes. We've only got 3 players above 6.5. Zion Fleming was the 3rd man, 6.77. And then we have a whole array of players. Shackleton, Mitchell, Saville, George Evans, or all of the most of the subs. The only sub who did good was Malone. But we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players under 6, and we've got Cresswell 5.05, which is not very good. And you look down there and you've got Sean Hutchinson as a sub. Yeah, that's not good. So, who had the most touches for Millwall? Billy Mitchell 61, McNamara 51, Cresswell 51, Darmstrong 49. Shots and shots on target. So, we had, was it 19? These are who had the shots. Scott Malone had a shot. He was only on the pitch for about 9 minutes. One shot on target. Tom Bradshaw was on the pitch for 90 minutes. He had as many shots on target as Scott Malone. 1 and 1. One shot, one on target. We need a better striker than Tom Bradshaw. Sorry, mate, but we do. We literally do. Yeah, so we got Jay Cooper 4, 1 on target. Zion Fleming 3, 1 on target. Cresswell 2-0. Murray Wallace 2-0. George Homan 2-0. So who had shots on target? We had 5. So 19 shots, 5 on target, 0 goals. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So let's get into more offsides. No offsides. Unshifted touches. Basically poor ball control. Or Cresswell, 3. And the error. Mason Bennett 3, which is not good because he only came on the 65th minute. Tom Bradshaw with 2. Defensively, who did the defensive work? Tackles, who had the most tackles? George Homan. That would explain his high score. Then McNamara, then Billy Mitchell, then Cooper, Wallace, Fleming. Interceptions, McNamara, Murray Wallace. Clearances, Murray Wallace, George Homan, Cresswell. Long. Blocked shots. So that's interesting. So Cresswell, Cooper, Bradshaw, Saville. In terms of passing, so we did see that Tom Bradshaw had a high passing accuracy, 80%. He only had 15 passes in 90 minutes. Okay. Who had the most passes? Billy Mitchell 47, Cresswell 39, and then it kind of drops off quite a bit actually. Not that many passes in the game from the Millwall players. In terms of who stood out, you got Shackleton there, 21 passes, 90.5 accuracy. He was on the pitch for about 25 minutes. You got Scott Malone, 9 minutes on the pitch, 6 passes, 100% accuracy. 4 crosses. Obviously, had that one shot on target. 1 long ball, 1 anchor long ball. So pretty decent stuff from there from Scott Malone. He obviously knew what was going on and tried to do something about it. If we look at crosses and accurate long crosses, 7 crosses from Vogelsammer. 2 of them are accurate. Honeyman 5 and 3. So these are the 2 here going down the flanks, so they weren't really going down the flanks because they were inside, as I showed you on the position on the previous page. There you go. Scott Malone 4 and 0, and then Callum Stiles 3 and 0, Mason Bennett 3 and 0. Just wasn't our day yesterday, was it? It wasn't. So you got Jules Long, 27 passes, 59.3% passing accuracy. Pretty good for him. Pretty good for a goalkeeper generally. For him, get up to 60. It's quite good. 21 long balls, 10 accurate. Cooper 10.5. Murray Wallace 9.4. Russell 7.4. Billy Mitchell 5.3. And then again, Honeyman, Mara, Saville 3 and 0. So yeah, I think that just about does it. Gone through everything, and I'll just go back here and look. Obviously, second half, the change that Tony Mobley was said to them was, "Stop fucking shooting, you dickheads! Get inside the box and shoot." And that's what did it. It's what did it for Norwich when we played them at Carrow Road. It's what did it for Sunderland when we played them here the other day. And on that note, thank you for watching and goodbye.